Okay, Marty Coleman here with Parker Coleman. We had such a good time with the previews of the American League and the National League. Parker wanted to do a recap of this week's or yesterday's MLB games. So without further ado, here's Parker Coleman.
So we have 6 games. I want to do daily recaps. I understand it's going to be hard with school, but in the summertime it should be a lot easier. We start off with the Brewers and the Cubs. Unfortunately, the Yankees and Red Sox and the Mariners and Twins were both postponed yesterday. They're being played today not as I speak. They're both already done, and we'll be talking about that later tomorrow. So McCutcheon gets the first hit of the MLB season. He would get another hit in the top of the fourth. He would, after Renfroe would single, he would be driven in on a RBI ground out for Lorenzo Cain. Seiya Suzuki would have 1 for 2 day with 2 walks. That was a very good day. He would single along with Jason Hayward in the top of the fifth. Bottom of the fifth, excuse me. Wisdom would tie with a sacrifice fly. Then Horner would hit the first home run of the season. Fan absolutely goes crazy. And the Cubs take a 3-1 lead. In the top of the seventh, the Brewers would tie it up as Cain would double, Brasso would walk. Wong would reach and Brasso would be out. Adames would double, making it 3-2, and Christian Yelich would tie it through with a sacrifice fly. In the bottom of the seventh, the Cubs would take the lead as Frazier would double, Contreras would be hit by a pitch, and then Happ would double, making it 5-3. The Brewers would cut the lead in half as Tellez would single, Caratine would double. First game as a Brewer, and a sac fly by Cain. Even though Cain had 2 RBIs, neither of them were from hits. Cousins pitches a clean bottom of the 8th. He gave up the double to Ian Happ, but he didn't get the loss. A broken bat hit for Adames doesn't matter. Robertson's able to get saved. The Cubs get the first win of the MLB season for anybody. Brewers get the first loss, 5-4. As Happ would be the first star. I'm doing stars like hockey, except this isn't from the scores in hockey. This is from me. Happ would be the first star, 3 for 4, game-winning double. He had 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Cain went 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs in the sacrifice fly. Hendricks went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Brewers. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Cubs. We have the Guardians and the Royals. The Guardians spent the most amount of money they had ever had in a signing, as they signed Jose Ramirez to a 5-year, $124 million contract extension. Ramirez would celebrate by getting the first RBI of the season for the Guardians in the top of the 4th, as he would get an RBI double after Straw would single and steal second. That would make it 1-0 Guardians. Beavers going up against Greinke. Casey would be able to tie it in the 5th and knock out Shane Bieber. Double by Dozier, double by Nicky Lopez. That would be enough to tie the game at 1. Tristan McKenzie had 2 solid innings before the 8th inning, but he would then struggle, as after he would walk Michael A. Taylor, Bobby Wood Jr. would get his first career hit, and it would be a double for the lead. And Benintendi would single. Okay, we're gonna have to try this again. Give me a second. Benintendi would single Bobby Wood Jr. in. Bobby Wood Jr. is the first rookie to have a opening day game-winning RBI since Jason Nixon in 2008. If I'm, I'll just do that again. Benintendi would single Bobby Wood Jr. in. Bobby Wood Jr. would be the first rookie to have an opening day game-winning hit. A game-winning RBI hit since Jason Nixon in 2008. Stephen Kwan in the top of the 9th, he would get his first career hit. Andres Jimenez would single to put runners on the corner with 2 outs. Miles Straw would strike out to end the game, leaving 2 runners on, down by 2. Greinke would be the first star. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run. Bobby Wood Jr. went 1 for 4, 2 with a double, game-winning RBI. Ramirez was also 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI. One run, 7 hits, 1 error for the Guardians. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Royals. Pirates Cardinals. This is going to be all Cardinals. Brian Hayes. I will say about this: the Pirates. Brian Hayes signed an 8-year, $70 million extension, largest contract in Pirates history and longest one, I believe. The biggest one before was 3 years, $39 million for Francisco Liriano, which is kind of funny to look at now because he's Francisco Liriano. Hayes would leave in the first inning after his first at bat with a hand cramp. That's not a really good way to start off your long extension. A quick Cardinal start as Carlson would double, Goldschmidt would walk, and then O'Neill would single in Carlson for an RBI. That's not going to be the last time I talk about Tyler O'Neill. His name's going to be here a lot. Pujols gets a standing O in his first game back as back in a Cardinals uniform. This would be what am I saying? Let's take a second. Okay. This would be his first game back as a St. Louis Cardinal, and unfortunately he went 0 for 4, not in his debut as a Cardinal because he's already been a Cardinal, but his reintroduction as a Cardinal. In the bottom of the second, O'Neill would strike again as he would hit a 3-run home run to break it open 4-0. Bottom of the sixth, Bader would double, ground out, and a sac fly by Carlson would score him. In the bottom of the eighth, Cardinals would pile it on as Edman would homer. Carlson is hit by pitch. Goldie singles. Carlson would then score on a sac fly by Tyler O'Neill. 5th RBI for O'Neill on the day. Lastly, Arenado hit a 3-run homer. The Cardinals, it would be all Cardinals as they would beat the Pirates 9-0. I wrote down Tommy Edman's name on the 3 stars. I meant to put Tyler O'Neill. I put down O'Neill's stats and put Tommy Edman for some reason. 2 for 3, home run, 5 RBIs, sacrifice fly. Not Tommy Edman. Not Dylan Carlson. Tyler O'Neill was the first star of the game. Wainwright was the second great outing against the Pirates. 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts. Bader was 2 for 4. He's the third star. No runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Pirates. 9 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. Braves. The Reds of all teams actually spoiled the Braves championship celebration. The Reds would start off pretty well in the second as the Reds are able to strike first. Stevenson would be hit by a pitch. Senzel would single, and then Farmer would single, scoring Stevenson. The Reds would score more in the top of the third as India and Aquino would single back-to-back. Pham would walk. Votto would single in India, and Aquino would score on a sac fly. After 2 walks, Riley singles in a run. That comes off of an error by Drury. It would be 3-1. Riley had a pretty good night. Him and Spencer Strider were the only Braves that had really good nights last night. Drury would make up for that error with a 3-run bomb, 3-run home run that would end up being the real decider in this game because in the bottom of the 8th, Riley would hit a home run after Olsen walks to cut the lead to 6-3. It's off of Dauri Moreno, and that might sound like a bad debut, but we didn't even get to bad debuts. The worst debut that we're going to talk about comes later on. Padres Diamondbacks game. In the bottom of the 9th, the Reds would shut down the Braves and win 6-3. Like I said, Brandon Drury, he's going to be the first star of the game because his home run was really deciding the game. 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, home run. Austin Riley was 3 for 4, 2 RBIs and a home run. And Tyler Mahle went 5 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts. Some pretty good performances. Most of them were from the Reds. 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Reds. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Braves. Mets Nationals. This game was delayed quite a bit. It was supposed to start at 3:05 yesterday, Central Time. Then it got moved to 6:05, and then it got delayed even more to 7:20 our time. So the game didn't start until 8:20 Eastern. Mets Nationals. A quiet first 4 innings, scoring-wise. Victor Robles did make an incredible throw to throw out Pete Alonso going home. However, the Mets would score in the top of the 5th as Cano would single and Canha would walk. McNeil would single to load the bases. And then, in the most Mets thing probably of all time, their first RBI of the season is off of a hit by pitch. James McCann, he would be hit. scoring the first Mets run. Marte would reach on a fielder's shorts, McNeil would be out, but Conrad would score. It would be 2-0 Mets. The top of the sixth, the Mets would double the score as Alonso would single and Cano would walk. Conrad would single in Alonso. Another single by McNeil would score Cano. Then make it 4-0. Juan Soto would get the Nats on the board. Who hit a home run? Probably starting off his MVP season because Juan Soto, I think he is probably second to Mike Trout, best hitter in all of baseball. That's my take for the season. The Mets out on another run, top of the seventh. J.D. Davis would double. Lindor would single him in, making it 5-1. A scary moment in the ninth as Pete Alonso would be hit in the face by a pitch, face shoulder area. He said it was just a busted lip, but he left the game. Hopefully he's doing okay. Edwin Diaz would pitch a good bottom of the ninth as the Mets beat the Nationals. Excuse me. Mets beat the Nationals 5-1. Miguel was the first star, and I say this because Tyler Miguel, he really stepped up when the Mets needed the most. No DeGrom and no Scherzer for this day. He was able to push. He was able to get the Mets an opening day win. 5 innings, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. Connor was 2 for 3 with the RBI. Soto was the third star, 1 for 3 with the home run, RBI, and a walk. 5 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Mets. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Nationals. 2 more games as we had the Padres Diamondbacks. This was an interesting game. Bumgarner would struggle to start off. He would walk 4 in the third inning with a ground in between, but Luke Voigt would get the RBI walk. It's a 1-0 start for the Padres. In the top of the third, 3 singles by Profar Grisham and Austin Nola, not Aaron Nola, would double. Sorry. Let's try it again. 3 singles by Profar Grisham and Austin Nola would double the score, making it 2-0. They would chase Weaver in the 4th inning after they chased Bumgarner in the 3rd. In the bottom of the 7th, Darvish should be removed after throwing 6 no-hit innings. He struck out more. He walked more batters than he struck out, but 6 no-hit innings is still pretty impressive. Tim Hill is brought in, and he immediately loses the no-hitter to Pavin Smith. Diamondbacks would ground into a double play, so that hit didn't really matter. And the bottom of the 9th is where mayhem starts. Robert Suarez makes his MLB debut. This is the worst debut of the day that I was talking about. And I don't want to just crap all over Robert Suarez, but he did have a really good game. As Walker and Smith would both walk, and then Carson Kelly would be hit by a pitch. They would take him out. A wild pitch would score Christian Walker. And then Seth Beer would hit a 3-run walk-off home run, still with nobody out, on National Beer Day. And they're going to give out 10,000 beers to fans 21 or older to celebrate that. Now, of course, there might be 5,000 people that come to Diamondbacks games nowadays, but they could stretch that out for over this weekend. Seth Beer was the first star, of course. He had 2 hits, game-winning 3-run home run. Yu Darvish went 6 no-hit innings, struck out 3, walked 4. And then I gave the 3rd star to Pavin Smith because he, A, broke up the no-hitter, and B, had a very important walk in the bottom of the 9th. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Padres. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. One more game, and it was a very interesting one. It was the Astros and the Angels. Ohtani became the first player ever to pitch and lead off on opening day for their team. I think that's what the record was. I mean, he breaks so many records that you kind of just lose track of them nowadays. But Ohtani, he would be pumping 199 to start off. He struck out Jose Altuve. He looked nearly untouchable. Besides that, base hit by Michael Brantley, of course. But he did look nearly untouchable. The Astros were only able to score 1 run off of him in the top of the 3rd, as Brantley would have back-to-back at-bats with base hits. Bregman would single him in this time. RBI for Alex Bregman would be 1-0 Astros. Framber Valdez would at one point retire 15 straight batters. However, he reached trouble in the 7th. In the 7th, Trout would reach on Jimmy Pena's fielding. Maybe it was a throwing error. Pena made some good plays, but that last night was not one of them. Rendon would barely miss a home run. It went foul, and they called it foul. Madden would challenge, and I would love to say that it was so close that it was 10 minutes to see, but I mean, it was a foul ball. It was decided in 30 seconds. And then Rendon would ground into a double play. That's what Framber Valdez is so good at doing, is getting ground ball double plays and just ground balls in general. He had the best not fielding percentage. he had the best ground ball percentage last season in the MLB at just about 70%. And then a tough play by Bregman, he can't make it. Maton comes in and gets out of it. And the top of the eighth, Houston's best friend, Ryan Tepera, would come in for the Angels. And this is one of the storylines that is going to be talked about with the whole Astros cheating scandal this season. This is still being talked about 5 years later. Is Tepera now in the AL West? Another storyline is going to be Joe Kelly and Carlos Correa in the same division. Kelly's on the White Sox, Carlos Correa's on the Twins. But Ryan Tepera came in, and Bregman hits a home run. That was giving Joe Adele a lot of grief because he had one of the worst nights ever. Adele, I forgot to mention in the top of the third that RBI by Bregman, that throw was just all sorts of wild. It was between the second base and the first base and the catcher.
About halfway, yeah, from left field.
And pretty sure David Fletcher had to come down from second base to get that throw and stop it from going into the Astros dugout. And then Yordan Alvarez hits one that nobody's gonna catch. It would be 3-0. But some more happened. Yuli Gurriel hit one to the warning track. That one was the only one that was clearly not going out. But it was still to the warning track, pretty solid. Kyle Tucker hits one to the warning track. That one looked like it had a chance of going out. And then Jerry Pena hits one just foul. The Astros were probably a few feet away from hitting back to back to back to back to back. I think that's 5 home runs off of Ryan Tepera. And Tepera, it's a good lesson for maybe just kids or people in general, is that you want to look before you leap when you talk trash, because if you run out of luck, then you're going to end up smelling like it for a little while. And like I said, Ryan Tepera, he's most famous for accidentally getting an MVP vote. So take that as you will. March would be hit. Fletcher would triple on a ball that wasn't really played well by Yordan Alvarez. That make it 3-1, give the Astros fans a little scare. However, Shohei Ohtani would come up, and Hector Neris would make his Astros debut and get Shohei Ohtani out, with him being the tying run at the plate. The Astros wouldn't give up any runs in the bottom of the ninth. Mike Trout did get his first hit in the bottom of the ninth with a single ball from Ryan Presley. The Astros would win 3-1. Valdez was easily the first star. Yes?
When you're done, I got some breaking news.
Okay. Valdez was easily the first star. 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Bregman was 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Alvarez was 1 for 3, a home run, an RBI. 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Astros. That was a Jeremy Pena error talked about. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Angels. What is your breaking news?
Yuli Gurriel to the paternity list, game 2.
Wow.
And Lemus Diaz will bat 5th tonight.
Wow. So that's some Astros news. If anybody who watches this ever is an Astros fan. Thank you guys for watching this video. This is actually going on YouTube. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video. If you didn't enjoy it, don't feel pressured to do that. But if you did, it would mean a whole lot, because this is actually, I don't know if Dad's going to keep this in here. This is actually the second time we had to do this. So we're working hard, and it just means a lot to show that you appreciate the hard work. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening and watching.